On the WWE Network, you're looking for the World Championship Wrestling episode from July 12th, 1986. It may be a pain in the ass to find it due to the navigation on the WWE Network, but if you search for Road Warriors Midnight Express or Midnight Express Road Warriors, it should be one of the options that comes up. Once again, World Championship Wrestling, July 12th, 1986. The time of this clip is 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 11 seconds into the show. 1:02 and 11 seconds. There's also a jump to option at the bottom. The jump to clip is Midnight Express versus Road Warriors. Jim, are you ready on your end?
I am ready.
The way we're going to do this is a 5-second countdown. After 5, we will say press play now. On now, as soon as I'm done with the word now, press play. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play now.
Boom. And there I am. By the way, yes, I am indeed not a good-looking man when I wear a hat. I look like Opie Taylor when I wear a baseball cap, too. That's why you never see me. I was 24 years old there, Brian. Look at that building. Once again, the entire territory was on fire at this point, and even the non-bash events were selling out. I love those old belts. Nikita Molkovich made those in the 60s, and of course then Manny and Rude took off with them right after they had redone them. I've got my replicas, but that's the pre-redone when Klondike Bill had just painted them bronze. They look decent on TV.
How long had you guys been with Bubba by this point?
Bubba came in May. This is July. Look, he doesn't even barely, he doesn't have the beard yet.
Yeah.
And of course, this is a house show on television, so we're going to take some breaks in this. And there's Sam Houston with the armbar on George South and that beautiful graphic. Anyway, and once again, a wide shot of the building. And there's the Road Warrior pop. And folks, if you have the sound a little bit up underneath us, you can get some more feel of this. And I should mention also, and this is going to figure in the finish, it's a long way in Raleigh, in the Dorton Arena, from the locker room entrance to the ring. The music's been playing that long. Here come the Road Warriors, because this is the match where Baby Doll has to run in at the end. And she's late because the ring is so far away. Anyway, look at that's the fucking sight right there. The red shoulder pads and the cartoonishness in the WWF to lighten them up and making them more entertaining. No, they were a post-apocalyptic nightmare. Hawk just snapped the cuff off with his neck, and of course the camera missed it, because this was Crockett Promotions in the 80s, and they're going to miss a lot of stuff. Tommy Young, the best referee in the history of wrestling. But they came into the ring, and they looked like that, and then they backed it up. And look at Paul Cornette. We're all melting, as I said. But we looked at this like a house show match, because it was a house show, even a big house show, but a house show. And so we've got the 15 minutes or so. We're going to do our thing. Instead of jumping right into it, this gives the announcers time to set the scene and, bring people into the gist of the thing. The World Tag Team title is on the line. Raleigh, it's sold out, whatever the fuck. Big Bubba, how will he figure in this? Paul Ellering on the other side. And that's another, everybody watched Dennis Condrey, both his body language and also his facial expressions. When you talk about people that nobody works like anymore, that was different than everybody else. And Dennis was the captain of these matches. He was the first captain of the Midnight Express. He's calling most of the things that there are to be called. I don't know what I'm playing with there in the ring. Is that something that we need later on? I'm not sure. I wish I still had them red drawers. Look at Joe. He's just fucking massive.
Lock up, headlock.
Boom. And now Dennis is going to take a ride. Boom. And you say, oh my gosh, he's just a brick wall. And look at the people. Yay. you're going to show that these guys are so much stronger. But now look at Joe's athleticism. Boom, and an elbow, a leapfrog and an elbow, and bail out and regroup. And now a lot of the fans will be screaming, oh, they're lazy. They're not going 100 miles an hour. It's because the people were reacting to what was going on. You make it look like the road warriors are so dominant, they have you off balance. You got to regroup. You try something else. It doesn't work. Joe and Mike were not guys that you could call spots where they constantly drop down, leapfrog, drop kick, arm drag, hip toss, keep moving. You had to slow them down, set something up, and then get their power and their explosiveness to pay off. Now, see, this is going to be the other way around. Now, instead of Dennis running, it's going to be Animal running. But the same, boom, drop kick. Not the highest drop kick in the world. Bail out, regroup. Because who's ever going to see a fucking guy that size doing a drop kick? And now Dennis is like, fuck this. And I'm, whoa, wait. The people are fucking into whether or not that the Midnight Express are going to give up and leave because they can't take care of the Road Warriors. And I'm trying to beg them back into it. I think at this point, Bobby's saying, here, let me have a chance, or give you a little fucking advice.
Now, the Road Warriors had made shots before in 85, let's say, but it was really the beginning of 1986 they came in full-time to Crockett Promotions.
Yes, you are correct. In 85, they were all over the place because they were carrying Vern's company after Hogan had left. And now, by the way, Dennis is telling Tommy something that Tommy needs to tell Hawk. So Hawk goes over and hears it. But the Road Warriors they were doing big business in Montreal in 85. Where they were going to the promotion up there. They were doing big business. They did a big show in Hawaii. They obviously were starting to go to Japan. More promoters were starting to use them independent of Vern, and it's just that Crockett had the national TV and the resources to pay him more than everybody else was going to. Dennis getting some fucking heat, flexing his double biceps next to Hawk, and now Hawk just does that, and people, and Tommy Young knocking on the traps. And it was here, it's 100 degrees in the building, so we're going to flex and keep people involved. Okay, here we go. Dennis is going to try something else. Animal decided to fuck with him a little bit. Little lock up. Go to the eyes. They'll sell the eyes because there's no eye machine at the gym, but here's the spot they learned from Lawler. Boom. Hawk's the only one that doesn't sell the pile driver because of those rock hard traps. And we're screaming, turn around. Headbutt. Boom. Out. Done. Regroup.
A lot of people in that crowd standing up, lifting their hands up, jumping up and down at various points here. Fans totally into this.
And that's how could you, another break, how could you go 100 miles an hour with these guys without burying them? The more they do to you, the more weaker their shit looks. So instead, you parcel it out a bit. And as a matter of fact, I think Bobby, they may have edited part here, but I think Bobby's about to get in because there's a funny spot coming up that shows you Bobby can roll with anything. And by the way, that's Jackie Crockett, the handheld on the right beside Dennis Condrey down on the floor, the black sheep of the Crockett family. Here we go. Now, this is the spot they've been doing in the house shows. Bobby will jump out there. Animal will press him back in over the top rope. Hawk will clothesline him, but look at Bobby's leg. He got the camera cable caught in the thing. Boom, and there's a clothesline, and now he's going to take one from Animal. Boom, and he's still tied up in the goddamn cables. And that causes a big fucking, look at the people. They're standing up, they're screaming, they're jumping up and down. So that's the payoff to the spot. And now we go over and check, make sure Bobby's still alive. It starts out, boom, boom, boom. Then you do a big payoff, and then you let them settle down. If we start doing shit while they're still screaming, of course, now this advice is not good for today because they don't scream that long. But if you started doing shit back then when they were still screaming, you were stepping on the rest of your shit. Now they just go, this is awesome, and then they try to tell jokes.
Now they don't scream, they chant.
Yeah. And here we go. We'll find a crack in this armor. Look, double top wrist lock. And oh my God, the strength of him and a double clothesline. Boom. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to roll out and regroup. But wait, there's Bobby on the floor and Animal gives him an elbow. Dennis slides out. I'm melting. The frustration of the whole thing is what, look at the girls back there waving at the camera. They're loving this because the heels are frustrated. These people hate us. They wanted to kill us. Raleigh, this same building is where Piper switched babyface to Carolinas because a fucking guy one of the fans caught him in the stairwell and stabbed him. And they switched him babyface after that. He had too much heat. So they want us to be embarrassed. They're not worried about whether the Road Warriors are doing 175 moves as to whether the Road Warriors are going to embarrass us, beat us up, and win the World Tag title. And here we go. And Hawk, that press could fucking neuter you. Talk about spaying and neutering your pets. His right hand in the crotch. And here we go. And Bobby moves out of the way. And Hawk misses the dive and stops himself. Now, while the referee's backing him up, here comes the Midnight Express with the racket. And now we've cheated and gotten an advantage over Hawk. Now Animal's going to do whatever he can try to do to stop this, but Hawk is the legal man, and he's been compromised. And God, this wide shot. They were really proud of this crowd, but still, there we go. Dennis, gouging the eyes, working on a face. Hawk's going to sell it. And that beautiful right hand of Bobby's, because also he would make it was an early version of leg slapping. He'd punch his fucking side and you would hear the smack. And I always love to watch Dennis get on somebody when the heat's going. See, he's still putting the guy over as far as his strength, being kicked out of the lateral press like that. But Dennis's movements are so sharp, the punches, the kicks, the thrust to the throat. Not a lot of wasted motion. He's always in the right place. And if somebody makes a mistake around him, he just kind of holds up a step and doesn't fucking get into it. Dennis was always in the right place at the right time.
That was interesting. Bobby going for the eye there.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Other people just gouge that. Bobby would actually show you the finger that was going into it. I think, did I just give him a shot with the racket there? No, I'm about to again. Boom. Because I saw the referee turning around and Dennis wasn't going to have time.
Yeah, it's definitely hot in there. I just saw a fan fanning himself off with his program.
Yeah, no, well, look at my hair, for fuck's sake. And then boom. That was supposed to be a double knockout, but Hawk didn't quite get the message, but still he's going to make what passes for the Road Warriors as a hot tag. That was about as much rolling and ducking as you were going to get. Here comes Animal. And the comebacks are always fire, power slams, drop kicks, and then the flying shoulder tackle, which is always called the flying dingbat, for the reasons that we mentioned on last week's program. Dingbat! Look at Bobby's bump and just unconscious. Dennis comes in and makes a save with a kick to the head. Here comes Hawk. Now the referee's distracted. We're going to do a thing here in a second where Animal goes for the press, but I whack him with the racket. Boom! Down he goes, but Tommy Young turned and saw me. Disqualification. Shit, Ellering's coming after me. Ellering's going to chase me around the ring. Baby Doll is supposed to come and catch me at the corner of the ring, but as we've mentioned, it was a long way from the locker room. She's late, so I'm going around again, trying to get around this mess. Paul on my tail. Here comes Baby Doll. And my brains explode. Bubba doesn't know what to do. He's only been there for 6 weeks.
How hard did she hit you?
Harder than any man has ever. She was rushing because she knew she'd been late. I saw her coming and I turned around so that I could back up on her and I was going to turn to her so she could hit me. And she just ran in and punched the base of my spine. But anyway, we were disqualified. The World Tag Team title does not change hands. The Road Warriors looked like dominant beasts, as they always did, and we set the all-time gate record in the city of Raleigh, North Carolina, on this particular evening. it was easy to work with these guys because they were so over. All you had to do was their stuff. And the only people that ever had trouble were people that didn't do that. But there you have it. I wish more of these, most of them were not taped or filmed because we never worked with them in a specific television match. It was always either a big house show or like this. There was a couple of times we crossed paths with them at TV tapings, and that was pretty much it as far as what was recorded. Comments or questions?
Well, there it is. Always fun to watch this era of Crockett Promotions. Hot crowds, good action. It's always good to hear you break it down. That baby doll punch to you, I've watched that thing so many times throughout the years.
I was like, a mark has snuck up and hit me with a chair.
She hit you like she had a purpose. Let me ask you this. The famous incident where the boys pulled a rib on you and you thought you were being arrested.
Yes.
And then you turned around and went completely off on her in front of everyone.
Because she knew it was a rib and she was laughing.
And I don't know if you want to repeat what you said to her that day, but was this before or after that?
I'm pretty sure it was very recently afterwards. Now that I thought she was just running up there and punching me because she was panicked. Now I know she was getting a receipt. She was getting me back. Yes, because that was after a match with Dusty and Magnum that we probably had in Charlotte. We probably had in like May-ish, and they did it a couple weeks later where they arrested me for the assault on the police officer, which I'd only kicked the police officer because the guy that had jumped me was covered up with police officers, and I was trying to get him. And they served a fake warrant on me in Spartanburg, and were going to take me out to the car, and she started snickering. And I feel so bad about the things that I said about her and her appearance in the midst of all that. But I was under duress. She got me back.
Yeah, I'm watching a replay. I still have the video going. I'm watching her clobber you again.
Maybe that's what's wrong with me to this day. Songs? Do we have songs?
We have a few songs. Let's get a couple.